everyone, this is Hema, and today I wanted to share with you a technique that I recently started doing. I posted some pictures for some samples that I created for Linda at Stamp Fever, and I have gotten a few questions about the foil part. So there's a couple of these cards at Stamp Fever if you want to see it in person, but this right here is using this fab foil, and it's really easy. I've gotten a couple of questions. Is it a special machine? Was it embossing? How did I do this? And it's really simple, and so I thought I would actually show you. I was working on a card right now, and I thought it would be perfect timing. So what I use for these is this fab foil and this iCrafter adhesive sheet. They are both available at Stamp Fever, and so feel free to stop by and get your supplies there. I actually just posted a picture of the iCrafter along with every color that is available, so feel free to call Linda and place your order if you're interested in this method. So basically it's really simple, and I think it definitely adds some pizzazz to your cards, right? So this is what I'm going to be showing you right now. So these are the colors that I planned on using for my card right now, but I do have other colors. And like I said, check out the post. This is the card that I actually had already started working on. And just to show you, so what I did is I took, and you all will notice that I love this die. It's a pink fresh die. Let me show you right there. And this one is just a hello sentiment. And I only used the words. I did not use the shadow for it. And what I did is I just ran this through my die cut machine on the iCrafter tape. So I put it on here. It is easier, so that obviously there's two sides. It is easier to do it on this side because the other side is shiny and it's really hard to get it taped down. But on this side, no problem. You could tell that I've actually been working on other projects with this. And once I ran it through, I did run it through a couple of times just to make sure that it would actually cut through. So I guess it'll, just depend if you kind of play around with it. But you will see this is exactly where this came from. And once I had it cut out, I went ahead and I carefully removed the backing of it so that, and this is it right here, so that I would be able to then place this on my card. And this is my sentiment. I'm actually going to be making a very simple card today. I've already colored my image and I did cut that out there, so that will go up there. Now that I have that placed, what I will do is I will go in and remove very carefully. Make sure, one thing that I did do before I forget is I did take my scoring tool just to, and of course you can use any tool, but just to make sure that the adhesive was actually on the card and that it wasn't going to lift, because when I started doing this I did have a couple of issues with that where it was lifting, especially on the smaller sections. And also you want to make sure, again, as you're going through it, that you are being careful not to lift the adhesive, not to tear anything. I will say that the more intricate of a design that you choose, it will get a little bit harder. So for example, I'll show you on this one, you could see that I cut this. This actually says smile, but you could see how thin this ends up cutting out, and that one did give me a little bit of a hard time. That was a sentiment that I use on the bottom of this card right here. So you could see it's relatively thin, and especially like this section right here was a little hard to work with. But again, just practice with it and it gets easier, I promise. Once you have that, you would then select the foil, and what did I do with my purple foil? Here it is. So I'm going to be using purple for the sentiment, and all you do is bring this out, and again you can see I've already used that for my smile. And then what you will do is just place it on, make sure that you cover your whole section, okay? And then again I just go through with my tool and just make sure that it is going to adhere. Now, the first time I tried this, actually, I tried it with a bigger design. It was actually just like one shape. And when I first placed this on there and I went to lift, it actually didn't cover the entire image. And it actually created a pretty cool design. I kind of like that. But when I am doing the sentiments, I do want the full coverage. And so that is why I use the tool to make sure that I have done, make sure that it's going to stick. Now, as you could tell, it was giving me a little bit of a hard time here. And all I do is just go back with my scoring tool to make sure that the foil has adhered. And see, now it's coming off easy. So if you do have a section like here where it feels like it's gonna pull, don't pull on it, just go back and kind of rub on it a little bit more. This way you make sure that you're not going to lift the adhesive, because that has happened to me as well, as I pulled on it too hard. And then what I ended up doing is I lifted my sentiment out. So, and it's not a problem, you just go back and, you know, put it back on there and see that. So that's still going there. I remember as a kid, I used to love those stickers that the rub-on stickers, right? So this is kind of the same concept. And depending, again, on your shape, it might be easier to pull from a different angle, but you just keep going, and there you go. So now we have our sentiment. And I'll just cut that off. That's actually the first time that has happened. So now you have your sentiment on your card, and it says hello. What I would do now, since I'm finishing up my card, is I will go ahead and put that on there. I'm actually thinking that I'll probably want to pop it out a little bit. So let me put some adhesive dots on here. Just do a few of these. And have my image pop out. So as you can see, this is really a very simple method, but it definitely makes your cards pop. And for example, with this specific card, this just went flying. With this specific card, it's not intricate, it's not as detailed as the previous card I showed you. For example, this one right here, this is more simple. This is just coloring kind of on my downtime, and because it is simpler with the foil, it just makes it pop so much more. So I'll go ahead and put that on there, and there you go. Now I have a card. I can send a hello sentiment and I miss you sentiment to someone, and it's super cute. One other thing that you can also do, so I have this punch, and I'm sure a lot of us have the punches, so you can of course run it through your die cut if you want to, with any shape that you have, any sentiment that you have, but you can also use it with the punches, and that's what you see this right here, where I've actually used this little bow before, and it's the same concept, right? You just put it through and you punch it out. Now, be prepared to put a little bit of pressure, a little bit of muscle into it, because you are cutting through the adhesive and the two layers, the plastic layer, and then also my punch is actually not a very high quality one, but just know that you might have to put a little bit more pressure there. And you see this is very tiny here, but now I have this little bow, and I could add it somewhere. Maybe I'll put it right here. Oh, maybe I'll put it, let's see. I'm trying to think where that would look cute. Let's do it up there for now. So same concept. I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing. I did not show you that on the other one. Again, with this one, you just have to be a little patient as to where you left it from. I will sometimes use my little poking tools just to separate it out. And here it goes, it's coming out. Then what I will do is put that on there. Just bear with me here. I chose a very tiny design here, so it's not, here we go. So now it's going to, I'm peeling the back off of it. And the adhesive is on this side. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and put that on there. Again, same thing. Just make sure that you are rubbing on there to make sure that it's not going to lift. And for this one, I think I will go back to my gold. I've been using my gold quite a bit. And so again, the more intricate the design or the smaller, it might be a little, you just need to be more patient with it, but it definitely works. So again, I'll just put my gold under that. Rub that on there. Lift. And there you go. So I may add a little bit more to the card, but the main thing is I just wanted to show you that technique. Like I said, there are many different colors. I showed you the gold and the purple. I also have it in green. I have, let's see what else do I have here. Red, white, ice blue. And once I discovered this technique, I pretty much was just running with every color, but there's many more. Check out the post from Stamp Fever. And again, this is the iCrafter tape. The other thing you could do, and I did this in the beginning, if you didn't want to get this, which by the way, this is, let's see, I took the price off of it, so I'm not sure. It's relatively inexpensive over at Stamp Fever. Just call Linda, she'll tell you the price on it. But the other thing I did with it is I did use, and of course I didn't use this one, but I did use a wider tape on here. And what I did is as I peeled it off, I used one of my scraps that I had from another project, and I put that on the back so that I was able to run it through my machine. That worked also. However, because obviously the adhesive, isn't on the back part of it, the one that I added on there, it was moving and it made it a little bit harder to work with, but it did work. So in case you didn't want to buy that, the sheets, it did work with this just by creating another side to this before you run it through your machine. So if you wanted to do that, obviously with a wider tape, if you need it, but again, these worked awesome. I love them. I grabbed a second one, and like I said, pretty much slowly but surely just keep adding colors to my collection. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning this technique and that you will find it useful. It definitely takes from having to use the embossing powders or any type of heat tool or anything like that. This just makes it super simple, running through the machine, putting it on there, putting your foil, lifting, and there you go. So again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Again, all these materials can be found at Stamp Fever. Happy crafting!